There are fewer children attending public school in Colorado. The state just recorded another significant drop. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Phil Lipoff. 9 News reporter Rachel Krause joins us now. And Rachel, these numbers come with a big impact for school districts.
Yeah, we've seen districts here in the Denver metro area have to make some tough calls, closing and consolidating schools when student enrollment doesn't reach its former levels. Enrollment determines school funding, so districts monitor these numbers very closely. Fewer kids are attending public schools in Colorado.
For the past several years, we have seen a continuing decline in overall student enrollment.
DJ Lorcell with the Colorado Department of Education says the 2025-26 school year is no different.
We saw a decline in almost every student group.
CDE reported Tuesday Colorado schools are down 10,000 students over last year. That's a 1.2% drop. Impact that's felt on the Front Range. The state's 5 biggest districts are all seeing drops in enrollment. In the Denver metro area, Aurora Public Schools saw the biggest drop, losing 4% of its students. The state's largest school district, Denver Public Schools, lost 1,200 students, about 1.4%. DPS Superintendent Dr. Alex Marrero says it's tough, but not surprising.
Our statisticians and our regional analysis have unfortunately been accurate, and I say that because we don't want to see more declines, but we are forecasting less students in our schools in the next 5 years, and we're taking proper action here.
Why is this happening? Colorado's birth rate has been declining for decades. New-to-country arrivals offered a band-aid to that problem, but only temporarily. Data from DPS found this school year they added 450 new-to-country kids, but nearly 1,200 left. Around the time the Trump administration stepped up its immigration crackdown.
A good amount of scholars that needed us and unfortunately are no longer with us.
And enrollment drops aren't going away. The district anticipates a 6,000 student decline in the next 5 years. Marrero says they'll keep an eye on the numbers and do their best for students with what they've got. DPS isn't the only one who's dealing with this. Jeffco Schools has closed 21 schools since 2021. And Thursday night, their board is expected to vote on a budget that would cut $45 million, helping keep the district running leaner for the students they've still got. Rachel Krause, 9 News.
The fuel supplier at the center of a costly mix-up says it now sent the state a complete list of gas stations that receive regular gas contaminated with diesel. But they still haven't sent it to us, and we've asked. HF Sinclair is one of the largest fuel suppliers in the Denver metro area. It says the contaminated fuel came from its terminal in Adams County and was delivered to gas stations between Wednesday and Thursday of last week. By our count, nearly 3 dozen retailers were sent the bad gas. But again, we're still waiting for the list from Sinclair. As of yesterday, the state said it had received over 400 complaints from drivers. They now say they believe all the contaminated gas has been replaced with good fuel. You can find our list of gas stations that may have received contaminated gas on the web version of this story on 9news.com, and we will keep updating it as we get information confirmed.
So normally this time of year, as you know, highs are usually in the mid-40s, somewhere around there. But this year is anything but normal. We just can't seem to quit this warm and mostly dry weather pattern. Not that I guess we can try anyway. we get, and you don't get
Wishful
upset.
thinking.
9 News Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin joins us. Kathy, how long is this going to go?
That's such a good question, Phil, because with climate change and global warming, it's a brand new world out there, a whole new frontier. Now, one thing I will tell you, our snowiest months are yet to come, typically March and April for at least the Front Range and Denver. But this is a dominant blocking ridge of high pressure that's been the theme over the course of the last few months, keeping the cold air and the snow away from us. Eventually, it's going to shift, but the snowpack numbers really tell a tale that is not good news for anybody. The worst snowpack numbers to date on record at this point in the season. We've got time to catch up, of course we do, but we don't see any significant changes in the next 10 to 14 days. So let's focus on the sunset, shall we? 2 nights in a row and look at the sky in Lyons. Robert Miller with that. Erica Lausberg, beautiful red, orange, and pink in the sky. Temperatures in the 60s have come down a bit, but it's still very mild for 10:05 in the evening. Pretty gusty out on the northeastern plains. We're tracking a weather system that's just outside our state's border that's kind of taking that band of showers right into northeastern Colorado. So hoping some of this rain gets on the ground, some of that snow gets on the ground. Doesn't look great, but I'm saying there's a chance. So as this front moves through, a 20% chance of showers east tonight, then we're back to sunshine and warm weather tomorrow ahead of the next weather system, which has Arctic air. Pretty comfortable overnight tonight. We get some sunshine tomorrow. Talking about fire danger again, but we're really talking about the Broncos football game on Saturday. Arctic air for the game? I'll discuss coming up.
Just into the newsroom, the town of Kersey plans to refund everyone who got a $340 photo radar ticket before November 18th. The citations were for drivers clocked going 25 miles per hour or more over the posted speed limit on Weld County Road 49 near Colorado State Highway 34. The town had suspended those large fines. Now, within the last half hour, the Board of Trustees failed to pass an ordinance that would have reinstated them. The town says they will put resources on their website for people impacted shortly.
The leaders of Colorado's largest cities are laying out their priorities just ahead of the start of the next legislative session. According to our partners at Colorado Politics, the mayors of Denver, Aurora, Colorado Springs sent a letter to Governor Polis. They told him they want to see the legislature address competency. The 2024 law requires courts to dismiss charges when a person is deemed incompetent to stand trial and likely won't be. Without enough places for those people to go to get treatment, many have been released back into the public. The letter is also pushing for increased penalties, some crimes like retail theft. They argue small businesses are absorbing losses from those crimes because penalties aren't harsh enough to deter the crime. And the letter asks the state to take a look at a 2024 law designed to regulate artificial intelligence. Lawmakers already pushed back the date it was set to take effect to this June. 2026 legislative session begins tomorrow. We, of course, will be following it for you on air and online at 9news.com.
Another neighborhood group is coming out against the city of Denver's plan to scale back a road safety project on Alameda. The Wash Park East Neighborhood Association is joining the Wash Park West neighbors and the majority of Denver City Council members, calling out the city for changing the project after a member of Colorado's richest family complained it would cause congestion near her home. The city changed the finalized project after meeting with Jill Anschutz, lobbyist. And internal documents suggested the city was making the move to, quote, triage high-level community and leadership concerns. In a meeting tonight between the neighbors and the city's transportation department, a city rep said she would take a meeting with anyone who emailed asking for one, just like the city did with Anschutz.
May not have gotten the answer you wanted, but I make it a point to meet with anyone who asks me for a meeting. I've never not met with anyone. So, yeah.
But I emailed you a couple times asking to meet and you haven't responded.
I do not have those meetings. I haven't seen it. My email, this is not an excuse. My email, I definitely miss emails.
Alameda is part of the city's high injury network, the stretches of the road with most serious injury crashes. Denver Summit FC's inaugural season begins in just a couple of months, but the team says the stadium won't be ready.
So we already know the permanent stadium is Santa Fe Yards along I-25 and Broadway isn't expected to be complete until the 2028 season. But today we learned the temporary stadium in Centennial won't be ready in time for the first kickoff. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch joins us now with more. Janelle.
The regular NWSL season begins mid-March, and at least for the beginning of Denver Summit's season, it'll start at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. Dick's Sporting Goods Park in Commerce City is the home of the Colorado Rapids, and soon they'll have a roommate. Denver Summit FC announced they'll host matches there after the season kicks off at Empower Field. Last March, team ownership shared the Summit would play its first 2 seasons at a temporary stadium in Centennial. Then, Denver Summit would move into its permanent home at Santa Fe Yards. The team didn't specify what is still left to be completed, though one look at the site would say the to-do list is long. Ownership says it needs extra time to, quote, ensure every detail of the fan and player experience is perfect. A team spokesperson says the stadium never had a specified completion date. and the expectation was always to open by late spring summer. The regular NWSL season begins March 13th and runs 27 weeks. While the summit won't start its season in Centennial, the ownership group hopes it'll end there. In the meantime, this home will be a little more crowded. The NWSL schedule is set to be released Thursday. A Denver Summit FC spokesperson told me we should know how many games we played at Dick's versus at the Centennial Stadium with that release. They say there should be no impact on the Rapids schedule while they share the stadium. Janelle Finch, 9 News.
Janelle, thank you. The Broncos-Bills game is for sure right now the hottest ticket in town.
Yeah, the cheapest ones, the ones we found, the cheap ones are going to be way up, going for over $400 on resale sites. We talked to Phil Tiffany outside the team store today. He's a season ticket holder from Fort Morgan who stopped by to grab some fresh gear. He says you'd be hard-pressed to get him to sell his tickets for Saturday's matchup because he believes the Broncos are going to pull it off, and he wants to be there to see it.
I'm Broncos all the way, so I got to say, my heart's with the Broncos, and I think they're on a good path this year, and go Broncos.
With the game still a few days out, sports betting sites are split as to who the underdog really is. Right now, FanDuel has the Bills favored by 1.5 points, but DraftKings and BetMGM are leaning toward the Broncos.